We are about 1/4 of the way through the 2023 year, so it's time to check in on the reading list. I don't know if you have a goal for your year. My goal is 100 books, and as I check in about 1/4 of the way through, I'm at 29 so far. You can see the entire list of 29 ratings, a little blurb about each one, what I thought about it in the blog post. The link is down in the description below. But here on this video, I want to give you the top 3 that stood out to me and give you a little bit of explanation why. Number 1, a book called Rising Out of Hatred by Eli Saslow. This is the real life transformation of a guy named Derek Black. He was the future of white nationalism, and he was the guy everyone thought he's going to take this even further. His parents were in this. He come from a long line of people who thought this way. And this book tells the story of his transformation, of how he changed his idea and thought, you know what, this used to be true. I don't think this is true anymore. And really how friends and people in his life were catalysts to help him change his mind. In a world that is increasingly becoming more and more polarized, this story is profoundly beautiful, and how it invites us to view others, even that we might view as enemies, how we can reach out to them, love them, and offer the best chance that they might see things in a different light. And so I just found this book to be so hope-filled, so much good stuff there. Highly recommend this read. Number 2, The Forgotten Creed by Stephen J. Patterson. In this book, this is a theology book, and he looks at Galatians 3, where the Apostle Paul writes, there's neither Jew nor Gentile, slave or free, male and female, and he uses this iconic sentence and makes the statement, this argument that this is the earliest creed of the Christian church, that Paul was actually referencing something that had already come before him. And this is such a beautiful history, and I really found this argument to be compelling of maybe the early church in some of its earliest days was known for completely challenging these cultural norms that even today we can continue to struggle with. But what if the earliest church creed was about that? And Patterson dives into the study of this. It's incredible. I really enjoyed it. And again, found so much encouragement on what the church can be if we go back to our roots and back to what this began as. Number 3, a book that totally surprised me called Exhalation by Ted Chiang. This is a book of short stories, and these are fictional stories. And I didn't think that this would be particularly moving. But 2 things I noticed about this book. Number 1, he's an incredible storyteller. I mean, some of these stories you are sucked in. You've got to find out. You're like, I need to know what happens next. Like, I literally can't move on until I see what happens in this story. But beyond that, he has such deep thoughts and perspective. And normally you'd expect that to come from a nonfiction book, right? But this is going to come at you and you're not even going to realize it because you're so into the story. And then you're going to realize as you're reading, like, he's inviting me to really think outside the box, to reflect on some new perspectives and new ways of thinking of this. And this was just a delight, not only to read, but then to reflect on afterward. And it was one of those books I wanted just to go slowly through it, to just read a chapter at a time and enjoy it and fully embrace it, go back and reread sections. And this is, I immediately bought one of his other books after reading this one because I was like, this is so good, such an incredible experience. So I'd encourage you to check that out. So those are 3 that stood out to me. There's a list of 29 of them. If you are looking for your next great read, check out the blog today.